It's Carrie Flatla here at Remax Real Estate Lethbridge and carrieflatla.com for Friday, March 13th, 2020. So, coronavirus, plummeting oil prices, rail blockades, the impacts of which we have not measured yet. Apparently the world is melting, nobody can buy toilet paper. So I just wanted to, talk some facts and figures, which are very rational, and give you an update on the Lethbridge real estate market and what is going on right now in the city of Lethbridge. And let's just drill down on what you absolutely need to know if you're a homeowner thinking of selling. The news isn't great out in the market. However, the good news is, as a homeowner, there's lots of things that are within your control if you do need to sell your home and move on to your next big adventure. So I'm just going to start with the numbers and then we'll drill down from there. I did a market update for January, February 2020 year to date. So that's taking your first 2 months and all the market data up to those 2 months. When I say year to date, it's up to the end of February. And then we compare with year to date numbers for 2019. And this is really important because often on the news and on the radio and the little sound bites that you get from the pundits, they're just looking at a snapshot of 1 month. And that is not necessarily an indicator of trend. So we don't know the overall trends yet for 2020 because we just have January and February, but it does give us some idea of where we're sitting in the market. So City of Lethbridge, February year to date, average price year over year, we've seen approximately $11,000 decrease, or 3.7%. That's actually pretty big. Now, I have to put a caveat on that, and this is where interpretation of market data matters, is we had a really, or what I perceive to be a very slow November, December, and I think it's taking time for the market to sort of catch up, everyone kind of waking up and saying, okay, I'm ready to do something now. But I think we have to keep a really close eye on this. So average house price for City of Lethbridge, that year over year, 2019 is like $297,000, 2020 is $286,000, just to give you an idea. So we're seeing some backsliding there. I don't know if that's going to continue. Carmen and I are ridiculously busy right now on both sides, listing and helping home buyers. So, this spring market could maybe help us catch up here. We'll see. I don't know. Alberta is experiencing what I call the 1-2 punch of coronavirus plus plummeting oil prices right now. And then the third undertow there that I don't think we've seen economic impact fully yet is the rail blockades and all the backed up shipments from that. Rail is funny. I used to work for the railroad, but people sort of forget that in the background, our economy is absolutely dependent on the free movement of goods and services across the country. And much of that is by rail. So we'll see how that shakes out over the next month or two. And I think it's going to take that long to feel it. Coronavirus, obviously, I noticed a marked shift in people's attitudes, in what public health officials were saying, in news about what's happening with businesses across the country. Yesterday on March 12th, it was just like we just hit a tipping point with coronavirus, and now people are starting to hunker down and get concerned. Travel is probably going to be restricted. People are canceling large gatherings. Again, these things sort of have a big ripple effect into the economy. It's going to take time to see how that affects things. Now, with Carmen and I, we're just taking all of the recommended precautions. We're still coming to work. We're still feeling well. We're just following public health official recommendations. Stay off social media. Stop reading all of the blaming, complaining, and mocking going on. Pay attention to what public health officials are saying, and that's the advice you need to take. So we're just monitoring that. It's an evolving situation every single day, and we're just following those recommendations. We're reaching out to clients, making sure that they understand that, if needed, your health comes first, and we can do business remotely No problem at all. We have all of the systems and tools in place to work with you remotely on your real estate transactions. So just to put everyone's mind at ease there. Back to market numbers. Coronavirus and then plummeting oil prices. A lot of people in Lethbridge, there's the running narrative in Lethbridge that we're insulated from that. We have lots of government, public sector employers here, and it doesn't affect us. Well, I beg to differ. I think that these types of macroeconomic variables affect people's mood and their confidence. And economic strength is all about confidence. It's not perfectly rational because human beings are rational. Buying a home, not a perfectly rational transaction. So I think we still need to watch what's happening with oil prices, but this is going to affect the Alberta government and their fiscal situation in massive, yet to be measured ways. So let's just keep an eye on that. In terms of number of sales year to date, year over year, again, measuring January, February in the city of Lethbridge, it went up a little bit over last year, so 183 versus 200 this year. Not a really big jump again. Do we have enough data yet? We don't have a full quarter yet behind us in 2020, but something to watch. Now here's where things get really interesting, and this is where it will impact you directly when you are positioning your home in the market to sell quickly for the most money possible. And those two things are inextricably tied together. And I've always said this, is that the magic and the goal should always be to try and get an offer in the first 30 days. The sit and wait it out approach does not help you as a homeowner in terms of attracting the most motivated buyer to make an offer on your home, because that's who you want. That's how you're going to get the best price possible. So when we're positioning your home, and every realtor needs to be doing this when they're talking to their clients in that listing appointment, you have to understand supply and demand, not just in the city of Lethbridge, but in your market niche and price point. So I always look at, are you in Northwest or South Lethbridge? Because those are each their own key submarket in the city. They're very different markets and very different buyers and homeowners. And then we cross-reference that with your price range, and we usually choose a $50,000 price range because we're trying to think like a buyer. And then we say, how many houses do we have on the market in that price range? So that's your supply side. And then how many people are actually buying those houses every month? That's your demand side. And then we crunch those numbers and we come up with a figure called months inventory. So how many months inventory do we have? How long would it take for this existing inventory to sell, all things being equal? If you don't understand that market dynamic, how can you properly position your home for a successful sale? Then you're just guessing. You're totally guessing. Because you can look at comparables, but you still got to understand the sandbox that you're playing in. So here's where things get pretty serious, is in the city of Lethbridge right now, we have over 800 listings, and it's March. So spring season has already started, and we have over 800 listings. And they're taking too long to sell. So we have 9 months of inventory in the city of Lethbridge right now. 3 to 4 months inventory is what I would consider a more balanced market. 9 months inventory, that's a buyer's market. No two ways about it, full stop. Okay, so really important to know. And then if you get into the different price points, then the numbers start to change within that. So for example, if you take everything up to $400,000, we actually still have 8 months inventory, and it's spring. So that is a very soft market for middle of March. If you take everything over $400,000, we have 16 and a half months inventory. It'll take well over a year for all of those homes to sell. So, and even within that, like if you look at the segments within that, our best segment right now, 200 to 300, is still over 7 months inventory, which is still a very soft buyer's market. So, there's just a lot of things at play here right now, both macroeconomically and here on the ground in Lethbridge. And we just have to pay attention. So like I always say, we can't control the market. And I hope nobody's telling you that they can control what's happening in the market, but we can control what's happening on our side of the desk when we prepare, present, and promote your house to get the best result possible. So that's our job, and we also should be understanding and interpreting the market for you on a week-by-week basis because things are changing. So that's my market update for March 2020, kind of a winter market update, pre-spring market update for the city of Lethbridge. If you have any questions at all, you can find me at carrieflatlaw.com, call or text 3827335, and Carmen and I would be happy to answer your questions and get your house on the market for a successful sale. Happy Friday Fire, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.